So what's up, YouTubers? I'm now finally upgrading my front speakers. I bought the Kicker KS 6x9s for the front and the rear. I bought the KS 3.5s for the dash, and now I'm running wire. Got me the Kicker 16 gauge. I'm running all Kicker, so I'm gonna run aftermarket wiring because you know you get the mid bass, these cheap little mid bass speakers in your doors. I want to add some more highs to the doors, so I'm gonna bypass the amp. Easiest way to do that is run some aftermarket radio speaker wire. Go ahead and pull this rubber plug. You do not have to pull this whole plastic piece out. You can pull up and pull the plug off of the plastic piece and around it, and the top has a hole where you can run extra wire. As you can see here, the clip is blocking that, so if you try to feed it without removing the plug, you're not going to know why. So don't try to feed a hanger or anything through there. Remove the rubber boot. You can run the wire from this way in and then feed the other end through here, and that way you don't have to cut, and you can use only what you need. So I'm gonna feed this through on this side, pull it through, run the other end through the boot into the door. So you can see I got the end through the plug. Don't cut no holes. I have not used any tools but my own hands. This plug will pull off. This plug you'll push in the door, and then you'll twist it and pull it out of the door because it only goes one way. As you can see, I'll have to shove it back in the door, and then I can feed it and press it back into place. This one comes off this way, and then I'm gonna feed the end of my cord through the panel here. In the top here, there's a hole. You pull your panel off, you pull this little rubber piece forward, and you reach up in there, and there's a square hole, little hole that you can feed your wire through. Pull that through and run it through underneath and run it to your radio or your amp. I don't have a 4-channel amp right now. I will be purchasing one in a week or two, and I'll be adding that in, another Kicker. All Kicker, guys. I got a 15-inch L7. I got two 12-inch Kicker CVXs and 8-inch sub Kicker I'm gonna put in the rear deck here. I just put the Kicker KS's, and then there's a 8-inch sub. That's the stock to the factory amplifier. I'm gonna run a 5-channel amp to all the highs and the 1/8 sub Kicker, and then I have a Kicker 1500 by 1 ZX running the 212, and then another 1500 ZX running the 15-inch. So guys, when you get up there, you can see there's gonna be a cutout, pre-cut out already that you run. I broke this. I didn't have a clip removal. Still waiting on Amazon for that. But you'll feed your wire, you'll pull this up, feed your wire through there. It comes through real simple. I see blogs online and stuff, guys having problems. This is not hard, guys. Fucking get your thumb out of your ass. This is America, dude. We build cars and shit, used to. So, fucking, if you can't run a wire, then you shouldn't be on the internet. Get back to school. Anyways, there's the wire ran through. I'm gonna pull it through and then pull the deck out. First I'm gonna run both wires, then pull the deck out. I don't like to pull the deck out first because then it's just sitting there doing nothing. Scratch up your radio. So there you go, guys. Got the wire running through. I'm gonna pull this through here. Pretty simple. If you use that top plug, you can fit 4-gauge, 0-gauge wiring in there. There's plenty of room. Do not use a hanger or any tool for this job. You will poke your wires, your rubber plug, and that keeps water out of the wiring. You don't want water or moisture getting up into that socket. So, got the wire through. Leave a little extra room, extra wiring. And I'm gonna put that plug back in place, run my wiring. Put it back together, and I am done. So guys, I want to help you guys out a little bit if you're having problems with this plug. When you want to put it back in, you're going to use a little small flathead screwdriver, and there's some prongs in there. You see they stick to against the metal here. You're going to want to push them inwards, and it'll pull this plug out. You do not need to pull it out all the way, but that will enable you to get your boot back over it, and then just shove it back in place. Okay? Once again, some little prongs. You'll push into the sides here, pull this out, get your rubber boot back up around here, that first little lip here, and then you can push it back in place. And as you can see, now that made that boot fit right over the top of that, really easy, back into place. Boot's real tight, no looseness. And now I'll do the other side. I need to get my lady's small hand up in there. You need to put your hand in the door and shove the boot on this side back in. Or just pull it. I don't want to rip the boot. So, perfect timing as I'm sitting here waiting. I was getting the wires pre-run before my 6x9 spacers had arrived. So they just now arrived. Let me get this box open real quick. So they just arrived. I got me some 6x9 half-inch spacer, or I'm sorry, quarter-inch spacers. They actually sent me half-inch. Those say half-inch spacers. I ordered quarter-inch spacers, but these look like they will do the job. Huh. So I bought the Kicker KS or the DS series. They will be too big and they will hit this little bar here, your window guide. So you do have this compartment in here. Sometimes people have to cut this back, but this is not the case. My kickers fit in there. I just needed to get a little half-inch spacer, so let's see how they fit. Your speakers will come with the piece with an end, so you can use and just hook up, or you can hook up some Y pieces direct. I'm gonna bypass these. I don't like to use these. I'm gonna just add my own clips, or matter of fact, they come with some. No, they do not. They come pre-wired. I don't want to have a lot of connections. I don't have any more butt connectors. Red ones. That'll work. So I'm just gonna add butt connectors to this so I don't have extra wire. And there you have it. 2 butt connectors. So I want everybody to know that these spacers work awesome. They sold on Amazon for $11, $12. These are the Metras, model number 866902. These are the half-inch spacers. Do not get the 1-inch spacer. If you get the 1-inch spacer, your speaker will hit the grill. With the half-inch, you can see my speaker in there. It doesn't even touch the grill. I still have a little play in it, so it's perfect. Fits in there nice with the spacer. I liked it. The door went on. Half-inch spacers, guys. for your 6x9s if they hit the doors. Most will, as magnets are a lot bigger and the depths on these. They did hit with the depth. Let me give you guys some information real quick. The depth on the DS's, I'm sorry, the KS kickers is 3 1/8. The DS's are fatter as far as width. When I put them in the deck, they didn't fit flat. They were too big. So I put the KS's and they fit perfect. The KS's compared to the DS's, as you can see, the DS's are 7 11/16, and that's 5 11/16 on the KS. And the depth is 3 1/4 on the DS's and 3 1/8 on the KS's. So bigger depth on the DS's, but the KS's are better. They fit better. You won't have to do any modifications except a 1/2 inch spacer. You do not need spacers for the back. They will fit flat and perfect. And I noticed with the DS's, I didn't get the bass effect because they weren't flat in there. There was space around them. Now these are flat and they sound a little bassier. So just one set of spacers, one pack. So you can see the boot's back in place. With this side on the boot, I did not need to stick my hand up there. If you get the bottom in, you pull it, and then you just pull down, and the top comes in. If you see, there's an arrow here, and then there's an arrow saying push on these. So that's to pull the rubber off, not to pull the whole plug out, just the rubber off the boot. And put the bottom in first, and the top in you pull, and it comes right in, fits in. So that's snug, that's in there. Boots in place. Doors back on. Nice, got the 6x9 in here. I just left the stock plug in there on the ground in the door. So it's still hooked up to the factory amp. I'm just running wire straight to the radio. So these speakers will not be amplified right now. The rear is connected to the stock amp. So those are amplified by the stock amplifier. And the radio I am using is the Pioneer 8200 NEX. And we'll go into detail with that. Got my Viper 59 or 590 6V. I smoked a little bit, took my medicine, so I'm a little high right now. So where was I? Shit. I forgot what I was saying. And if you guys like to keep your work clean, like everything to match, I used all kicker wiring. I used the KW 620, which is 16 gauge, 20 feet. KW series. They do have the Q series, which I bought the KW series matching RCA jacks, but I saw a pair on Amazon for $10 for the Q series, which is they're very nice. So look into the Q series wiring. This is the 16 gauge. Don't go 14, that's thicker. This is thick enough. What I learned with this wire, it has two coatings on it. It's OCF. It's OFC. And it has, once you pull it back, and it has two layers of protection around it. The big protection and then the inner protection. So this is thick enough. Go with the 16 gauge. Paid 11 bucks, I think. 12 bucks for 20 feet. And 20 feet is plenty enough. Buy two sets for the back and then for the front. But right now I'm only doing the front until I buy the aftermarket amp. So that's the speaker wire. Kicker. Very nice wire. I want to show you guys how I'm running this wiring too. As you can see, it came out of that plug up there. You'll see a little cutout, pre-cutout. It comes out of there. Run it to the back of your firewire. Do not run it along your glove compartment. You don't want wiring hanging down here. As you can see, there's already a wire plug back there. Zip tie it along that cord. And just run your wiring along the back and zip tie it up along the back and bring it up to the radio. That's your safest bet. You don't want anything hanging from the kick panel. See, even my lights, I don't have running under there. So I got the driver's side all together, fit perfect. And then I went and best way, ran into a little difficulty here because you're gonna have your brake pad and this blocking being able to run the wire through there. But you can see is it opened up. If you open this little plastic rubber mount, just pop the plug. What I used is something to feed it through. I have a little magnetic tool. It's got a little magnetic end, but I ran that up through here while this was off, the plug. Like I showed you on the other side, pop that off. You're able to get your hand in there and feed this up out through the hole here. Tape the end of your speaker wire that you're feeding after you run it through here. Tape it to the end of here and pull it right through. Took me a couple minutes. I've been over here juggling this for about 15 minutes. I finally got it up there. That's perfect right there. You'll feed it through. You can do that in a couple minutes if you follow that instructions. Grab yourself a hanger or something you can bend. Hanger will work, metal hanger. So don't go scratching your stuff up. You won't be able to run it through. That's your safest way. It's perfect. Runs through the plug. Just as mentioned on the top, there's a hole up here. Runs right through, feed it through. You're good to go. I'm gonna run it over here, run it to the radio. My radio, so these fronts, the tweeters and the dash are amplified with the rear. These side speakers are not, but luckily my radio had a volume control that I can turn those up and level them out with the rest of the speakers because the front ones are not amplified. But I'm running these kickers, DS's that were in the rears. Until I get my KS series, I will take these back out and run the KS. I run the KS in the back and they sound clean. So I don't know the difference. These have a bigger magnet, but the only difference is the foam. I've had these for years and they still good. But I'm sure over time, if they were in direct sunlight, the foam would crack. But so let me get this in there.